Thank you for clicking Dr. Samurai channel. In this video, I would like to discuss Mr. Eric Smith, who murdered 4-year-old boy when he was 13 years old. I would especially like to focus on whether the society will be safe or not by the release of Mr. Eric Smith, which was already approved in October. My name is Dr. Samurai. I am a professor specialized in international social pathology and also an active prison counselor of 20 years experience. I'm hoping this video will deepen your understanding of the crimes that are happening in today's society so that you could attain true peace on this planet Earth. As usual, I would like to provide you brief basic information first, and then I'd like to move on to our main discussions in the latter half. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. So, Mr. Eric Smith, he killed a 4-year-old boy when he was 13 years old, and he served 27 years, which makes him 40 years old now. What actually happened was, in 1993, Eric was told to leave a local park day camp, and he was riding his bicycle. He was probably angry because he was told to do so due to his bad behavior. And when riding his bicycle, he saw 4-year-old Derek Roby walking alone, who was also in the park camp. Eric lured Derek into nearby woods, strangled him, and dropped a heavy rock on Derek's head. But things didn't stop there. Eric took off all Derek's clothing and sodomized him with the tree limb, and then left his body right there, and himself left the scene. And Derek's mother went to the park to pick the Derek up around 11 a.m., but found out Derek did not arrive at the park, and hours later, Roby's body was found. Now I'd like to look into the cause of this Eric's murder incident. At the parole hearing, Eric himself said, "What I did to Derek was brutal, and I took my all anger and frustration and rage out on him." And he explained that those emotions shouldn't have been directed at Derek, but his father and older sisters and high schoolers who bullied him. Eric was a loner and easy target for bullies because of his protruding low ears, thick glasses, red hair, and his freckles. According to his defense psychiatrist, Eric might have had intermittent explosive disorder, which causes individuals to be unpredictably violent. But the expert on the prosecuting side denied it, saying that intermittent explosive disorder is highly rare. I speculate, since Eric himself is confessing the abuse by his father and his older sisters, considering he was the youngest, he could not let out his anger and his childhood family environment, and that repressive style must have extended to school, where even when he was bullied and abused by bullies, he could not let his anger and aggression out. So I speculate due to his early family environment, he established a psychological block to release his angers. But because it wasn't let out, the anger constantly stacked up inside him. The reason why the defense psychiatrist mentioned intermittent explosive disorder was when the anger and aggression hit the limit, he let it out beyond his control. And probably his explosive violence and sadistic acts on Derek was one of those incidents in which his stacked up anger inside exploded uncontrollably. So now I would like to discuss whether it is okay for society to accept Eric as a parolee. Especially the fact that Eric sodomized Derek after his death means at the age of 13 his anger was starting to merge into his sexual urge. That's why he stuck a tree limb into Derek's rectum. Is the society going to be safe with Eric being released 27 years after he committed his crime? We had a similar case in Japan in which 14-year-old junior high school student killed 2 and injured 3. He was also raised in a highly stressful family background, and he conducted so many animal abuse in which he just cut off the tongues of cats and collected it in one bin. Because he was not an adult, was called Boy A, which made it more famous in Japan. And his last murder act, which killed a young boy, he decapitated his body and dismembered and cut open his stomach and drank his blood, and he even put his decapitated head at the gate pole of the school he graduated from. So his sadistic level was as high as Mr. Eric Smith. He was also released from a medical juvenile facility after he spent there several years. And decades after, he published a book in which he confessed he hadn't committed any murder since he was released, and said something like he still has his urge, but he learned that act was wrong due to everyday communication based upon unconditional love by the juvenile facility staff. So he even say, even if he did that, he knows he would feel uncomfortable after that. Based upon his confession. By the way, he is also known as Sakakibara. Very famous. I think Mr. Eric Smith case is highly likely to be the same. Although he keeps his violent sexual urge, which was clear by his sodomizing Derek with the tree limb, by his genuine words at the parole hearing. He fully recognizes, understands the act was and is wrong by reason. So, in a nutshell, the value is, in Mr. Eric Smith case, his recognition that murderous act is wrong by reason will overwhelm his violent sexual urge. So that urge could sustain within him, but I do not believe that will come out in real action. This is my speculation. Oh, and one more thing. I actually contacted Mr. Eric Smith, and I wrote, I would like to understand what was really going on inside of your mind at the time. And he wrote me back saying, please ask me any kind of question. And I wrote him back asking a pinpointed question, and I guess it was too straightforward, and I didn't receive any response anymore after that. I would like to add that in the end. Thank you very much for listening, and please remember, those we call monster are created by human beings, especially the family members. If there was no abuse, there's nothing that comes out to be aggressive. In other words, there's no action, there's no reaction. I would like you to understand that as an iron rule. Wherever you are, my friend, on this same small planet Earth during this miraculously same short period of time. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.